Thank you all for joining me. Now, we understand that we cannot control Google or ChatGPT's retrieval, which is to say Google's AI, ChatGPT's AI, but we are able to shape our pages and our content into clear, entity-rich chunks that make our embeddings, and I've spoken about what those are in previous videos, make them land closer to the queries that we want to show up for, which will increase our odds of being selected and having our business and our website cited in the answers that they produce. Which is to say, we can produce a probabilistic advantage, although it's not a guarantee. This is not about rankings, this is about retrieval. So it's probabilistic. With that being said, for this brief example, I'll be using a re-ranking tool. And a re-ranking tool is essentially a tool that allows you to compare a particular query to content on your website and also content on competitor websites to determine whose content is most semantically relevant at the vector level for that particular query. Because again, that's what these AI search engines do, which is a part of retrieval augmented generation, which is the process that Google's AI mode and other AI search engines use to determine what documents or what websites to use for their answers. Now, this website that you see on the screen is Hugging Face, which is one of the leading open platforms in the world for sharing machine learning models. This specific rank tracker was created by the Beijing Academy of Artificial Intelligence, and there are several others that you could use, such as, for example, Voyage AI and others. I just use this in this case because it's free and you could go use it right now if you wanted to. This tool allows me to type in my desired query here, and below in this space, I'm able to paste JSON formatted text that contains chunks of text from my own website and also chunks of text from competitor websites. And the reason we're looking at chunks of text instead of entire articles or whole pieces of text is because that's what these AI search engines do. They're not looking at an entire web page per se, but they're looking at chunks of text or paragraphs on these particular pages. So this tool is going to tell me which piece of text is more relevant or least relevant for the query that I'm searching for. Now, to be clear, before this step of the process, you should have already created your content, obviously, and then you run your content through a vector embedding validation tool, such as, for example, Screaming Frog 22.0, SERP Recon, etc. And that validation tool is going to help you determine if your content is actually semantically relevant for the queries that you want to show up for in AI searches. So you'll do that first. Then once you've determined that your content is semantically relevant, before you upload the content on your website, you would use a tool like this to compare the content that you've created to competitor content to make sure it's more optimal, obviously, than their content is. And if you're doing this at scale, you would want to streamline this entire process. So now I'm going to enter this JSON script, and you can produce a similar script by using a scraping tool. You can even use ChatGPT. And basically, you're just going to tell the tool to scrape a particular URL, and you're going to give it instructions saying, this is the query that I want to be retrieved or show up in AI searches for. Now, retrieve the chunk of text from this particular URL that is most relevant to this query. And then you're going to do the same for your competitor website, and then you're going to compare those chunks to one another. And let's see what we get. So as we can see here, again, we've taken a chunk of text from my website, which is SEO Rank Media, which is here, and compared it to competitor websites and competitor text. And as you see here, our company's chunk of text is at the top. Then you see under us, you see Los Angeles SEO Inc. positions itself as a premier Los Angeles SEO company, Los Angeles SEO company, marketed, etc. So in this particular case, our content is more relevant than theirs, again, for this specific query. Now, just for giggles, let's switch it up a little bit. So, best SEO company in Miami. Let's see what it gives us. So it looks like in this case, it's saying the best SEO company in Miami, where we're all ranking terribly. We all have a terrible score. We're in the negatives. But the highest score is given to Los Angeles SEO Inc. and we're second. So you understand the gist. And essentially what I'm doing is walking you through in these videos the process of what's called generative engine optimization or answer engine optimization. If you have a website or a business that you want to be found in AI searches, and if you just want to create a plan for your business to grow your business, don't hesitate to reach out. You can go into the description box below and have a free audit ran on your website. You can also reach out to me directly. All right, take care.